all right. Keep your wig on.
Hiya.
Been thinking.
You look awful.
Really? Can't imagine why.
Pete, we can't leave things like this.
I know that, Jude. That's what I've been thinking about.
And we can't talk here either.
This won't take long. I've realised what I am, you see. As far as you're concerned, you don't, of course. I don't think you really knew what you were doing.
I wasn't doing anything.
Oh, clearly you were, but that's not the point. The point is, you were using me as a stopgap, shoulder to cry on until something better came along.
That's not true.
It's obvious. You don't really know what you want, but I do. I do now anyway. And it's not to be some pathetic stand-in.
You were never that.
It's all or nothing, Jude. No half measures. So if you can't let go, it has to be nothing, doesn't it? And as I see it, that means that we don't see each other again. At all.
These will need dealing with today. These can wait.
Right.
And keep your eyes peeled for rats. We don't want to end up with a great plague of Leatherbridge on our hands.
Morning, morning.
Oh, Matt, can I have a word?
House calls this morning. Got to check the list.
Is Narry this morning?
Yeah. Maybe I should have caught him first time round.
What?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I thought you'd forgotten me.
I was getting you breakfast.
You done the milking? Can't keep them waiting, you know.
Yeah, I do know, Dad. And I didn't. I'm perfectly capable of milking, Dad. I've also been going through the accounts.
Accounts can keep. There's things more practical need doing.
There'll be nothing left to do at all if we don't get the figures right.
Figures?
Yes, Dad. Figures. You remember them?
They'd be a lot better if you didn't go buying milk behind my back.
You wouldn't let me use ours, would you?
Must be the only dairy farm in the country has milk delivered.
Don't change the subject. I found invoices unopened since April.
We have had other things to consider round here, you know. No good doing sums if you haven't done the real work.
I have done the work, and the accounts are part of it.
Little matter of foot and mouth.
Yeah, I know, Dad. But you can't blame everything on that. This farm has got to be managed properly. Not like a Saturday afternoon jumble sale. Milk yield shoved to the back of the shelf behind the marmalade. Meaningless pencil marks scrawled all over them.
They're not meaningless. They're my lottery numbers.
Oh, well, that's brilliant. Because the lottery is just about the only chance we'll ever get in this place on its feet again.
Has Max said anything to you about... Julie, you okay?
Pete was here, waiting for me outside. He looked as if he'd been up all night.
He wants to talk?
Oh, no. That's exactly what he doesn't want to do.
Oh, of course he does. He wants to sort this out.
All or nothing, he said. He doesn't even want to see me again.
Oh, Jude.
How can I sort things out? How can I explain if he won't even talk to me?
Morning. The old boy's playing you up again, isn't he?
Yeah, nothing to do with him being ill, though.
Yeah, what do you want this time?
Well, I could suggest a few things, but actually, you don't know I called you.
Is that wise? You could chew your head off for that, and mine.
Well, I thought you might tell him it was just a social call, that you were on your way somewhere else.
What, like East Anglia, you mean? So what is it? Is he worse?
He seemed to be getting better, but he slipped right back again. He's got no energy, Dr. Maguire. He can't do anything on the farm. It's really getting him down.
What about you? You coping all right?
Me? Yeah, I'm fine. In fact, I'm better off without him. Running the farm, I mean. Have you had those blood tests back yet?
No, not yet.
Well, I was thinking about what's wrong with him. Couldn't be ME, could it?
Yes, it could be.
After all the stress with foot and mouth, and the paperwork and things. He pretends he's not bothered, but he gets snowed under by it. and I thought you might persuade him to hand a bit more over to me.
Well, you don't need a doctor for that, do you? You need a hypnotist. Come on, let's have a look at it.
Just dropped in, Mac. You must think I'm soft in the head.
I do, Les. You know that.
She put you up to this.
She being your daughter, I suppose.
Must be nice being a doctor, poking your nose into other people's business.
Oh, well, that's why I took it up. But I would have come anyway, because I'm extremely dedicated, because you're an old mate and you're not well.
I'm not well. I'm tired.
Yeah, well, you've been tired for a long time and you're not getting any better.
I'll tell you what's really wrong, Mac. Being bossed to death by Laura. Couple of years in agricultural college, she thinks she knows it all. Just get her off me, Case, and I'll be skipping around here like a spring lamb.
Like mutton, more like. I'm not sure you're right. I think there is something wrong and I want to know what, even for an old grouch like you.
No, that's right. Take her side.
That we all know she can be a bit abrasive, and it's easy to see why.
Is it?
Yeah. She's a chip off the old block.
Kettle's boiled. Fancy a tea?
Herb tea for me, please.
Your wish is my command, master.
Chuck us a biscuit, please. I need some sustenance after the morning I've had. 15 minutes in close proximity to Mr. Bellini's naked feet. Is that all there is?
Why? What's wrong?
It looks second-hand, like it's already been got at.
Maybe it has been. How come? You know, maybe it's already been got at. You know, nibbled.
What? By rats?
Well, you don't know. They're running around here somewhere, aren't they?
With safe-breaking gear. Rats can't break into biscuit tins. Or can they?
Anyway, you wouldn't begrudge him a biscuit, would you? I mean, the poor things have got to eat.
Well, I don't know.
Have a heart, Katrina. You don't want them to starve to death.
Well, no, of course not. Not starve exactly.
Oh, there you are. I just wanted to ask you about this Dr. Kwame. Does he have an understanding nature?
Oh, yes, Mrs. Brooking, very.
Only it can be a bit of a trial getting to know a new doctor. As a matter of fact, I find most doctors taxing on the nerves. Especially if they have small rooms.
Really?
I feel hemmed in, you see, with all the medical equipment round and posters on the wall saying what you might catch.
Yes, well, I'm sure you'll find Dr. Kwame very sympathetic. If you'd like to take a seat.
Thank you.
Is that something for me?
I'm very sorry, Mrs. Brooking. I think you've dropped your gloves.
That's my dad and his dad. And the one in the hat is Uncle Dick. They all worked this farm. Grandad left school at 14 to work on the land, and he was well into his 90s when he died. You pick up an awful lot in that time, Mac, and most of it was handed down to me. I learned a thing or two myself and all.
I bet you did.
Then how do you think it feels when Laura keeps telling me I'm doing it all wrong? She's read it different in some book or other, or seen it on some computer screen.
Things do change, Liz.
Don't make them better. Well, I know she's bossy, and I know where she gets it from. But there's more to it than that. I mean, stuck in here like this, I have to hand things over to her. I've got no choice, and she goes and does it her own way.
Well, she has to, doesn't she, surely?
But not without consulting me. She had her way. I wouldn't recognise the place when I get back on my feet.
Well, I think she's doing her best to look after things while you're under the weather.
It's not just looking after things. She wants to take this farm from me, Mac, and it's all I live for.
There's nothing wrong with your heart, Mrs. Brooking. It just raced a little, that's all.
Well, I thought I was being mugged. She's got something about gloves, has she?
I don't think so. Was there anything else you were worried about? Besides your heart?
Well, I wasn't worried about my heart until I got here. No, it's this, Doctor. Holiday of a lifetime.
Oh, safari. Very nice. I envy you.
Well, don't. It's caused me no end of headaches.
Why don't you want to go?
Oh, I don't mind being there, but it's the thought of how we get there that's turning my stomach.
Oh, afraid of flying, are you?
I wondered if there was something you could give me to knock me out, just until we land.
Not exactly, but there are other ways of helping you to cope with the anxiety.
Of course, there's always the threat of tropical disease.
Well, the vaccination will take care of that.
I have a morbid fear of needles.
You won't even know that the needles have been involved. They're more or less pain-free. I promise. And Faith, our practice nurse, is a real expert. You'll be in safe hands. I think she can see you today, if you like.
Today?
Well, it's better to get it over and done with. Don't you think?
You got out alive then?
Almost completely unscathed, yeah.
So, what do you think?
Well, until we get the results of the test, there's not much more I can tell you, but he's worried. And that's not helping him.
Moaning about me, I suppose. He didn't say how grateful he were then for all I'm doing for him. Here, don't try some of this.
No, thanks. I'm not much of a cheese man.
Well, take some for Mrs. Maguire then.
Yeah, OK. Yeah, thank you.
It's our own. I've started making it. He complains, of course, though. What do you want to waste your time doing that for? Which doesn't stop him helping himself when he thinks I'm not looking.
He's got a point, hasn't he? I mean, if you've got too much on your plate with the farm.
No, I don't make cheese as an hobby. It's a way of diversifying, and we've got to look at things like that. Selling our own produce. Could start a farm shop, maybe, that kind of thing.
Big change, Laura. Do you think he'll cope?
He'll have to. I know, Dad. He resents the fact that I went to college. He thinks it's all so much rubbish. But he really is wrong, you know. We really do have to drag this place into the 21st century.
Well, he put you through college, and you can't do it without him, can you? You have to take him with you.
No chance. Anything I suggest he don't want to know. I have to get the milk for this from a neighbour, you know, just to stop him from moaning. Honestly, Dr. Maguire, I don't like the thought of him being ill. I really don't. But at least it gives me the chance to knock things into shape.
Ah, you'd like me to help him get better, but not too quickly.
I didn't say that.
Laura, part of his problem is that he's worried about what you're getting up to when he's stuck up there in bed.
Well, I'd tell him more if he listened properly.
He sits there fretting about the farm changing under his feet. Maybe it'd help if you eased up a little. Don't take it away from him.
Calm down, Mrs. Brookin. What's going on?
Mrs. Brookin, it's all right. It's just a pinprick.
Not even that. I didn't get nearer.
It wasn't the needle. I saw something move.
What?
Over there. The lid sort of lifted of its own accord.
Don't you think you're being a bit anxious about this? There's nothing there.
There was. The lid moved and something looked out. There it is again! Ow!
Well, yes, it is an emergency. Because this is a doctor's surgery and the patients don't like it being overrun with vermin.
Stay close together. We have to be methodical.
At least two.
I just want to state this for the record that I'm not happy about this.
Well, I don't know. They haven't offered themselves up for examination.
Crawl to the ground like you're a kestrel.
Yes, thank you, as soon as possible.
They call it trouser legs, don't they?
Of course they don't.
Then why do farmers tie strings at the end of their legs? Get off!
You know, as senior partner, I do expect a modicum of deference, but this is a bit over the top, isn't it?
It's the rats.
Ah, the rats.
One of them nearly frightened the life out of Mrs. Brooking.
Honestly, she's supposed to be going on safari and she freaks out at the sight of one innocent little rat.
Oh, where was she?
In Faith's lunchbox.
Mrs. Brooking.
Oh, no, in the treatment room.
I've spoken to the pest control firm. They're sending a man round.
Got enough problems with rats?
To deal with the rats. So we can leave the search to him, can't we, and get on with some work?
What work? We haven't got any patients.
Well, of course not. I had to send them home, didn't I? Mac? Sorry, we're closed.
Oh, it's all right. I'm a friend of the management.
Bobby, it's you.
Oh, hi. Oh, it's your lucky day, Kat. I'm going to let you take me to lunch.
No, it's a bit touchy because the rats belong to Jude, one of the partners. Her boyfriend bought them for her.
Hi. Thank you.
And they've gone and done a runner.
The rats or the boyfriend?
Well, both, actually. It's a bit creepy, though, isn't it? The thought of one of them sniffing round your ankles.
Oh, he's that short, is he?
Shouldn't be for long, though. Dr. Thompson, she's ordered him one of the exterminators.
Oh, shame. Some of my best friends were rats. Do you remember Graham Barry?
Oh, no, not Barry the elbow.
Yeah.
Oh, how could I forget?
Oh, it's not right, though, is it? I mean, the poor things, they haven't done anything.
Can you keep a secret?
What? But of course.
Faith's planned this escape committee. Yeah, it's just me and her at the moment, but we're planning to spring the rats before the exterminator can get to them.
Oh, that's great, Kat. Well, I'm with you all the way.
So what's going on with you? How's college?
Oh, it's history, Cat.
Really? I thought it was business studies.
Ha. No, I've dropped out. Honestly, it was so boring. So I've got myself a little place in town and I've got other fish to fry now.
Like what?
Well, that's why I called in at the surgery. I need a few jabs. I'm going around the world, Cat. Little me, all the way around the world for a whole year.
Why do they make these so thin? There's next to nothing in it.
Looks all right to me.
I'll be hungrier than I was before I started off with this.
Oh, I got just what you need. There you go. Cheese, farmhouse fresh.
Oh, where'd you get this from?
Les Sim's daughter started making it. She wants to diversify. Still, if it's too strong for you.
No. Suits my character. Strong and mature.
Oh, cheese. I couldn't pinch a bit, could I?
Yeah, help yourself.
Look, that's got my name on it.
Just a tiny bit. I'm very partial to cheese.
What's wrong with Mr. Sims?
Well, his daughter's trying to tell him how to run his business, for starters. He's listless, he lacks energy, and I don't know what it is.
Have you tested him for anemia? Hypothyroidism?
Yeah, I've had the results back. They only tell us what he hasn't got.
What are the other symptoms?
Well, he's feverish sometimes, he sweats quite a bit, generally weak.
You don't know what's wrong?
I'm working on it. I'm building up a picture.
Well, as long as it's not foot and mouth.
No, but it's not foot and... Don't eat that, Ben. Look, don't eat it. I've just thought of something.
Ah, Mac.
I was just looking forward to that.
Could I have a word?
Faith. Sorry, had an emergency.
Are you sure this is going to work, Faith? Bound to. Farmhouse cheese.
It's a bit strong. This could knock them out.
No, it's perfect. Well, Matt did say not to eat it, but I'm sure it's OK for rats. Right, so they're going to follow the trail of food to the door, and then they're going to make a break for freedom. Like Steve McQueen in The Great Escape.
Oh, do you think we should do them some forged passports?
My name's Beer. I believe you have a rat problem.
So the tests don't tell us anything?
Well, it threw up a few questions we might ask.
Well, like what?
Well, you said that you thought he was improving, and then he took a turn for the worst.
Yeah, he seemed quite clear of it for a couple of days.
So it fluctuates, it's not consistent.
No, evenings aren't very good usually.
Uh-huh. What about the cheese?
Cheese?
Yeah, have you sold any?
No, not yet. It's still the experimental stage.
Well, if I were you, I wouldn't.
Did you know you're never more than 10 paces away from a rat at any given time?
No, I didn't.
It's true. Where you get people, you get rats. It's a kind of brotherhood. And it's my belief that Ratty might have found something to his liking in this very room.
Might he? What?
Bedding, Dr. Thompson. Of course, I'm more versed in the ways of rats than in the ways of the medical profession. But it puzzles me why a doctor should store bedding in his room. That's more your field, Dr. Thompson. And you might very well have an explanation for it.
Yes, Mr. Beer, I think I do.
You mean she's poisoned me?
I didn't say that.
But it's the cheese that's making me ill.
Well, it's a distinct possibility.
What's wrong with him exactly?
Well, I'll have to check, but it looks to me like it might be brucellosis.
What?
Picked up from infected milk.
Now see what you've done.
Come on, Les, it's not her fault.
Brucellosis on top of everything else? Is it our herd?
Well, it's no good asking me.
Is it?
I don't know, Dad. Could be the milk I brought in.
Brilliant. Now you bring infected milk onto my farm.
Whoa. Look, first of all, we have to check whether or not I'm right.
Yeah, what about the farm?
We'll have to report this to public health, but first we need to treat you. If we don't sort you out, it could turn nasty.
How nasty?
No, it's not life-threatening in itself, but it could lead on to arthritis or even meningitis.
Oh, thanks very much.
Les, it won't come to that. We can deal with it. And we'll have you back on your feet in no time.
Well, back on my feet with twice as much work to do. Thanks to Daisy Daydream here.
Oh, Bobby, you got it made. You always did have. Oh, it's not that great, believe me. What? Trekking around the world for a year, funded by your parents? Oh, my heart bleeds for you. Oh, only part funded, and they're being awkward about it. They say only 4 months.
Only 4 months.
Yeah, well, it's not a year, is it? And a year's what I want. Oh, and I've got to check in with Aunt Sal when I get to Sydney. Oh, as if they can't trust me.
Well, they've got a point.
Well, look, they'll let me go in the end. I'll wear them down, of course. But it's going to be such a bore doing it.
Cool, going round the world, eh? It's all right for some, isn't it? Look, Bobby's going trekking round the world.
Oh, right.
Have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, I've been backpacking for a while, yeah.
Really? Well, you can give me some tips then.
No, I don't think so. Nothing useful anyway.
Well, yeah, but you must have had adventures, though.
No, not really. You wouldn't be interested.
Well, you know what that means, don't you? That means we'd be extremely interested, only she's not telling. You reckon? Wonder what she got up to.
Katrina!
It was Mr. Beer. He thinks there's been a couple of rats in here.
Oh, right.
Or maybe that should be 3.
3?
The exterminator and I found your sleeping bag.
Yeah, well, it's got nothing to do with the practice, has it?
No, but it has a great deal to do with the fact that Kate's my friend and I find it very hard to watch her suffering like this.
Suffering? She seems quite happy not to have me under her feet, actually.
Yeah, well, she would say that, wouldn't she? Because you don't give her much option. But if you had a thought in your head that wasn't centred on yourself, you might see she's actually lost and confused and very far from happy.
So it looks like Bobby will need a jab for everything going. And it sounds to me like you might be jealous. Well, wouldn't you be? Her parents dote on her. They give her everything she asks for.
She's plenty by the sounds of things.
A year going round the world, eh? Oh. And it will be a year, because she can twist them round her little finger. Look at the size of this. It's like an encyclopedia. What? Bobby's notes. Now, hang on a minute. These are her dad's.
I've just thought, is that door locked?
Yeah, why?
Because I'm expecting someone and they have to be able to get in.
Oh, I'll keep an eye open if you like.
No, the door should be open. This isn't a fortress.
What's got into her? Katrina? You all right? Yeah, it's nothing.
Ten minutes. Okay.
Oh, dear.
I thought I'd made it clear what I think.
But that's just it, Pete. It's what you think. It's not what actually happened.
I saw you with him. What do you expect?
I expect a little faith, not jump to conclusions.
Really? I find you with your arms around your ex-husband and you're only half-dressed. Anyone might jump to conclusions.
Not without asking.
Because, frankly, there's not much else you could have been doing, is there? I'm not stupid, Jude. Maybe I was in the past, but I'm not anymore.
Richard was upset, and I was comforting him.
Is that what you call it?
I told him it was over.
Which took all day, I suppose.
And he was upset. Will you listen to me? What do you want? You want me to tell you I hate him, is that it? For the sake of your wounded pride? Well, I'm not going to do that because it's not true. I love you, and I feel sorry for Richard. Why can't you accept that?
Forsaking all others, Jude. That's what you were going to promise. But you just can't do it, can you?
Pete, wait!
Hi, Laura.
Hiya. I came in to pick up a couple of things for Dad. I thought I might just catch you.
Well, it's chaos in there today. We're having livestock problems of our own.
That's all right. I can't stop. I realised after you'd gone that I hadn't thanked you properly for sorting Dad out.
Well, it's a pleasure to be of service. He's crowing a bit, is he?
More than crowing. I don't think he'll ever let me forget this.
Well, he'll get over it. You do know you're not to blame.
Yeah, I know. It matters to me what Dad thinks.
Well, you'll probably get along a lot better when you're no longer living in each other's pockets.
I don't see how I can avoid that.
Well, you're not going to stay, are you? I mean, once he's back in charge.
I'll have to. The whole thing's failing. And it'll fail a lot quicker when Dad takes over again. He's got no idea the state it's in. So he'll soon be fit to farm, but he's going to end up having no farm to run. So I have to stay, don't I? I can't let him go through that on his own. Anyway, families have to stick together, don't they? See ya.
So, not Thelma after all. The exterminator said he was a boy.
Theo, I suppose.
Poor Theo. Cut off in his prime.
You okay? Well, everything seems to be more or less back to normal, so we can open up for business again. 4 o'clock surgery, as usual. I just thought you ought to know. It was an accident.
All right. No, not really. No? What's up? It's Bobby. No, I said she was going around the world. Well, she wants to go away for a whole year and, well, she can't do that, Faith. She mustn't.
Why not?
Because her dad's not going to last that long.
What?
I saw his notes. I didn't mean to. I thought they were Bobby's, and by the time I realised I'd read it, he's got cancer of the gullet.
No.
They think he's got 6 months to a year left. That must be why Bobby's mum and dad want her back so soon.
But she doesn't know.
Well, she can't do. Bobby loves her dad. If she knew, she wouldn't go at all. What am I going to do, Faith?